In the Bengal area, there was a mother and father. They had 2 sons who both died when they were just babies. Then they had a 3rd son. They named the child Dukhi. Dukhi means one who is miserable. This is traditional in some places in India, that when you lose children, you want Yamaraj to feel sorry for this child. And if your name is miserable, Dukhi, then the idea is Yamaraj is going to feel sorry for you and not kill you. So little Dukhi grew up spontaneously, naturally attracted to Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Whenever he would hear anything about Lord Chaitanya or Lord Nityananda or their associates, he would run to that place with great enthusiasm. When he grew up a little, his father and mother told him it was time that he should select a spiritual master. And he said, I already have in my heart, I've heard about this person. He's a disciple of Glories Pandit, who is a very, very intimate, loving associate of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. His name is Hridayachaitanya, and he is living in Ambika Kalna. So he was sent there, and Hridayachaitanya accepted him as his own. And he served his guru with great love and devotion. And through Hridayachaitanya, who had taken over the service of the Gaurnitai deities of his guru, Glories Pandit, he was being trained in pure devotional service. Hridayachaitanya, he actually initiated and gave him the name Dukhi Krishnadas. And he sent him to Vrindavan to train and study the Goswamis' literatures under Srila Jiva Goswami. When Dukhi Krishnadas came to Vrindavan, Narottam Das Thakur and Srinivasacharya were already there. And the 3 of them became most intimate, loving friends and brothers. Narottam Das Thakur was a disciple of Lokanath Goswami, Srinivasacharya a disciple of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and Dukhi Krishna was a disciple of Hridayachaitanya. But because they were all serving their gurus, who were all united and one in heart in the service of the 6 Goswamis and one and united in the service of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there was no boundaries to the intimacy of their affection, their respect for each other. This is Vaishnav society. Jiva Goswami gave Dukhi Krishnadas a very simple service: to go every day for many hours and sweep and clean the pathways of Seva Kunj. So he would go with his little broom and get on his hands and knees and sweep. Of course, it was all dusty pathways. So as he would be sweeping, his body would be covered, his hair, his clothes, everything would be covered with the dust of Vrindavan. And he was just so grateful, so honored to do this menial service. Dukhi Krishnadas was a very, very powerful scholar and a very advanced Paramhamsa. When Krishna sees that we are grateful for the service that we have, that we don't take any aspect of devotional service to be ordinary or take it for granted, then Krishna really accepts our devotion, and that gives pleasure to him. Happiness in Krishna consciousness is very much when we can deeply be grateful for whatever service we're allowed to do. If we're just grateful for whatever opportunity we have to serve, that gratitude is an expression of our love for Krishna. And that is what makes us happy. If we're not grateful, even if we have every type of material facility and every type of spiritual facility, and everything's just going so much exactly the way we want it to go, if we're not grateful, there can be no happiness in our heart, because Krishna is not pleased with us. Our happiness is when Krishna is pleased with us. So this was Dukhi Krishna. He was absolutely in ecstasy, so grateful. I get to sweep this forest every day on his hands and knees. Something anybody could do physically. Yes? But it was the order of Jiva Goswami, his Shiksha Guru. So he took that service as his life and soul, and he did it every day for several years. He never asked Jiva Goswami, can't I do something else? This is what pleases my Gurudev. This is what pleases Krishna. And Radharani, who is Vrindavaneshwari, the queen of Vrindavan, who is the very origin and reservoir of all devotional service, she blesses us when she sees our sincerity. One day, as Dukhi Krishna was sweeping, he happened to see some light that was coming from under one of the bushes. And he was sweeping, 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 and there he found an incredible ankle bracelet. It was made of gold, ornamented with precious jewels. As soon as he saw it, ecstatic love awakened in his heart. And when he touched it to pick it up, just rushes of ecstasy started going through all of his limbs. And in his heart of heart, he could understand that in the eternal Leela, the aprakata Leela of Radha and Krishna, this was Srimati Radharani's ankle bracelet. In the Leela, beyond what the mortal eyes could see, our acharyas tell us, Sri Radha and Krishna were having their Leelas, and she lost her ankle bracelet. She told her most confidential assistant, Lalita Saki, to go and bring it to her. Lalita Saki disguised herself as a very simple old woman and approached Dukhi Krishnadas. Said, did you find an ankle bracelet? And Dukhi Krishnadas said, yes, I did. The old lady said, that belongs to my daughter-in-law. Please give it to me. Dukhi Krishnadas said, bring me to your daughter-in-law. I would like to deliver it myself. Seeing the purity of his devotion, she brought Dukhi Krishnadas in Seva Kunj to Lalita Kund, and she dipped his body. And when he came out, his original spiritual form from Goloka Vrindavan was manifested as a gopi named Kanaka Manjari. Then Lalita Saki brought Kanaka Manjari into the eternal Leela of Radha and Krishna and brought her before Srimati Radharani. As Kanaka Manjari, Dukhi Krishnadas was about to present this jeweled ankle bracelet to Sri Radharani, Radharani took it and lovingly pressed it very firmly against his forehead and created a special tilak like no one has ever seen before. And then Srimati Radharani said, because you have pleased me so much by your devotion, I want to give you that which is most dear to my heart. From Srimati Radharani's heart manifested a deity of Krishna named Shyamsundar. And she gave it to Lalita Saki, who gave it to Kanaka Manjari. Then Lalita Saki said, because you have given so much happiness to Srimati Radharani, Shama, your new name will be Shyamananda. But you must not tell anyone about what happened here. And then suddenly, Kanaka Manjari became Dukhi Krishna, Shyamananda, in his male form, covered with dust, with his little broom in his hand. But the deity was still with him, and the tilak was still on his head. And when he came back to the association of all the devotees, they were wondering, what is this tilak you're wearing? But he couldn't tell them. So they were, what is, all of a sudden you have this tilak? And now you're calling yourself Shyamananda? But Srimati Radharani revealed the truth to Jiva Goswami, but he couldn't tell anyone either. So gradually the news went all the way back to Ambika Kalna, where Hridayachaitanya was living, and he was very much worried. What's happened to my disciple? I gave him a name, now he has a different name. I gave him a tilak, now he has a different tilak. He wanted to protect his disciple. So he took very great Mahants, liberated souls, associates of Nityananda Prabhu, brought with him all the way to Vrindavan, just to try to save his disciple. And when he asked, Jiva Goswami couldn't tell him. And Shyamananda couldn't tell him. So Hridayachaitanya was very much concerned. You're making aparadhs. This isn't right. He said, if this is really meant to be this tilak, then it will not come off you when I rub it off. So Hridayachaitanya started rubbing the tilak from his forehead. And the name Shyamananda was written on his chest. He started rubbing that. And he was getting more and more water and getting clay and water, rubbing and putting tilak and everything. However, the more he rubbed it, the more it shined brighter and brighter and brighter. And eventually, it's a long story, but Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally appeared to Hridayachaitanya and told him everything. And Hridayachaitanya accepted that you are better than me. And Shyamananda said, no, I am your obedient eternal servant. And on this day, everything was resolved in the most historical and wonderful way here in Vrindavan. So when you go to Radha Shyam Sundar temple, the small deity on our right side of the large deity is the deity that was manifested by Srimati Radharani. And the deity of Radha, the Maharaj of Bharatpur, he offered a self-manifested deity of Srimati Radharani to stand beside Shyam Sundar. And the large deities are also named Radha Shyam Sundar. They were worshipped by Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan.
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on thesacredconnect.com.